All right. Well, it was another dry, nice, hot, though, day inside of the state of South Carolina. And to be honest, I did enjoy the day. I did enjoy the day a lot today. I wasn't outside for as much, as I've been for the past couple of days, but I can definitely tell it was a very, very nice day today throughout the state. And that will continue as we go all the way through Sunday with mostly clear skies, highs in the upper 80s and 90s. But an isolated sea breeze could bring in some showers going into Sunday afternoon, but overall it's low. Moisture returns, especially as we get into next week. Scattered showers, thunderstorms as we go into next week, and then our typical summertime pattern with daily scattered shower and storm chances as we move later into next week. So, a lot of stuff to talk about here, a lot of stuff to talk about. All of that will be covered. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your future. But let's go on and talk about tonight first. Starting off, nothing going on. You can see this. Absolutely nice conditions as we go into tonight. But if we look and see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., look at this. We have some dry conditions from the southeast going up to the mid-Atlantic. We have some rainfall in Maine going on up there. In Michigan, we have some more rainfall, some severe weather in Wisconsin, also in Nebraska. We even have some flash flooding ongoing inside of Texas, Oklahoma, getting in on some of that rainfall. Severe weather going on in Texas and in Colorado. And then up here in the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, northwestern Oregon, we have some more shower activity up there. Cloud cover, we are seeing a bit of an introduction to cloud cover, and that's not too much of a shocker. We were expecting this to happen. As we move later into tonight, especially as we get into tomorrow. Cloud cover activity will continue to build statewide, from the upstate to the Midlands, all the way down into the coastal areas. That's expected. Now, if we go and take a look at our cloud cover for the future, just past tonight, and we move over into tomorrow morning, again, more cloud cover is going to try and move through. And then as we move into tomorrow afternoon, going into tomorrow evening, cloud cover still remains with us. Even as we move into Sunday, here's Sunday morning right here, going into around 9 o'clock in the morning, going all the way through to 11 o'clock in the morning. Still cloud cover even into Sunday afternoon. Now, for our current temperatures right now, we're talking about 70s and 60s for the majority of us, but mainly 70s. 72, Somerville. 74, Charleston. 75, Beaufort. 73 in Georgetown, as well as 74 in Murrells Inlet. 73, Conway. 75, Myrtle Beach. And 76 in Orangeburg. 78, Columbia. 76, Sumter and Florence. 74, Newberry. 76 in Greenwood. 72, Anderson. And 73 in Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, and York. Now for your air quality, obviously we were talking about that air quality alert over there in the upstate for today. We were expecting to see some not so great air quality conditions, and it seems like right now that is still going on. So moderate throughout most of the state. If you're outside for a long period of time tonight, just make sure that you're paying attention for that air quality, because we do not want anything bad to happen to anybody. Rather, it be from an air quality sickness, or just something to do with air quality in general. Now for our low temperatures for tonight, we're talking about 65 Columbia, 64 Orangeburg, as well as 72 in Charleston, 62 Moncks Corner, and 66 in Georgetown, 69 Myrtle Beach, and 71, probably our hottest area for tonight in Hilton Head Island, 63 Aiken, 62 Anderson, Greenwood, Greenville, 61 in Spartanburg. High temperatures for tomorrow, more 90s, 86 in Greenville, 88 Spartanburg, 89 Newberry, 92 Columbia, Orangeburg, Sumter, Florence. All these areas 92. Moncks Corner, 92. 86 in Hilton Head Island, 89 Georgetown. So we're going to see a good amount of hot temperatures as we move into tomorrow. Will there be any rain relief? Absolutely not. Rainfall is not expected for the next 24 hours. And honestly, I'd say possibly the next 48 hours at this point. But for right now, for the next 24 hours, probably around 36 or so, more than likely. Now for the SPC outlook, no thunderstorms are expected tonight, tomorrow obviously, and then as we move into that Sunday there, Sunday obviously we have that little chance for some rainfall activity to move through, and with Sunday also comes a little bit of a thunderstorm risk. Here we go right here. You can see it right now on June the 7th. We have thunderstorm activity that's possible from the upstate to the Midlands, also into the PD areas, the Grand Strand areas as well. So we definitely will have to watch for some, thunderstorm activity as we move into Sunday. So when I say probably won't see any rainfall for the next 36 hours or so, I think that as we move into the afternoon on Sunday, that's when we'll start to see maybe that rainfall activity try to move through. But we'll go into the models in just a moment. Fire weather, we're not expecting anything here, so it looks like we're all in the clear. And then as we move into excessive rainfall, nothing for tonight, tomorrow, and then even as we go into Sunday, we're not seeing anything there. Monday, nothing. It's on Tuesday. Isolated flash flooding is here and is possible as we go throughout the entire upstate of South Carolina and the northern Midlands. So the entire upstate, the northern Midlands, and probably the very far northeastern parts of the Midland areas are included inside of this isolated flash flood risk for Tuesday. So make sure that you are aware there. Make sure that if you have to watch because you're inside of a low-lying area, because wherever you are, it floods easily up there in the upstate, make sure that you're paying attention. Make sure that you are paying attention because like I said with the air quality, you don't want anybody to be caught off guard by this, and we want to make sure that everybody's aware. And here on the channel, even though this is a 5% risk only, we take every risk here seriously. It does not matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a 2%, a 1%, or a 0.101%. It doesn't matter. We take it seriously. Now for the crazy score for tonight, we are continuing to stay down low at a 6. No significant weather, light clouds moving through. And for the most part, that's going to continue throughout as we move into tomorrow, going into tomorrow night. But then I think once we get into around Sunday, that's when things will start to change up a little bit. But for right now, we're at a 6 for tonight. Very calm. So let's go on now and take a look at the model. Let's go and take a look at the models. Remember with the models, the time is at the bottom part of your screen. If you do not pay attention to that, there's a good chance that you may go on and miss and just you may just get lost. And we don't want anybody to get lost or anything like that with the models, because models can get a bit confusing sometimes. So make sure that you're paying attention to the time at all times. Now we're going to move on right here, starting off at around 9 o'clock p.m. or so, going into tonight. And obviously, we're not seeing anything rainfall-wise, even as we move into Saturday, going on into Sunday. And then, you're not seeing much, even as we go into Sunday morning. But watch Sunday afternoon. We finally start to see a little bit, just a little tiny bit, of some isolated shower activity. Again, it doesn't look like much, but it looks like something could potentially try to pop once we get into around Sunday afternoon. So we're going to continue to watch, and you're definitely seeing an increase in shower and storm activity in Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia. You really are starting to see this shower and storm activity really start to go into effect here. So that's what we're looking at here in terms of our short-term future. What about for our long-term future? Well, starting off with our long-term future, we're going to start off here at the 48-hour mark. And one thing I also will say is that we look okay for Sunday, as we know. But watch as we go into Monday. We still don't see much Monday morning. It's really not until we get to around Monday evening, going into Monday night, Tuesday morning, that we finally start to see some more beneficial rainfall kind of moving in throughout the state. Now, once you get into Tuesday afternoon, going into Tuesday evening, Wednesday, like early morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, we start to see some more rainfall coming in. But it's not too widespread, and that's the main thing that I've been trying to keep an eye on as we go throughout the past couple of days or so. I've been trying to keep an eye and see how widespread was this rainfall going to get as we get into next week. And it's overall stayed not too widespread at all. It has stayed not too widespread at all. Now we move over into Thursday, going into Friday again. You see a good amount of rainfall still. Could be beneficial. Any rainfall that we have is beneficial. But as we move over into the weekend, we get this huge system here. Now, this looks like a tropical system, and I'm just going to, be honest and say that this is a deterministic. It is right now about 7 days out, so anything can change here. But it has it. And it has this tropical system moving into, like Florida, the Big Bend area, and then kind of just dropping a whole bunch of rainfall, which would be very good. I want to see the rainfall falling throughout the state of South Carolina. We are inside of a drought right now. As we know, we saw it decrease yesterday, and obviously we want that to continue to happen. So if we do get a big system that does come in, brings us a good amount of rainfall, I wouldn't be too mad with it. Obviously, we're not going to hope for flooding here. We do not do that over here. We just hope for beneficial rainfall. And for right now, it looks like that could happen as we get more and more into next weekend. But like I said, once again, it's over 7 days out. We're just going to have to continue to watch this. And the National Hurricane Center, when I checked earlier this afternoon, they did not have anything out for it, and they still do not. So we're not going to sit here and put out information saying that, there's a tropical storm, there's a hurricane about to hit the state of South Carolina next weekend because one model said so. No, we're not going to do that over here. We're going to wait, make sure that the officials see it, make sure that they have their thoughts on it. And then once we get there, we'll get there. But for right now, we're not going to say that right now. We move on over past next weekend, though, going more into Sunday. And, and like I said, if that tropical system does happen, it does go on and drop us a good amount of rainfall. It does. And maybe even the week after, it could still be pretty heavy in terms of that rainfall activity. So I think once we move more and more into mid-June going later, there's a good chance that we could see some pretty beneficial rainfall throughout the state of South Carolina. And I do think that if this does happen right here, then we really will be talking about this drought really trying to go away in some spots. So that's all that I have to say in terms of the actual deterministic. What about the ensembles? What does the ensemble say in terms of our rainfall rates? Well, if we go in and move all the way to around 300 to 400 hours out, what do you see? The GEFS, the GFS ensemble right now is telling us we're going to have around 2.5 inches, maybe even up to around 3 inches or so of rainfall. Maybe even more than that over the next 400 hours. Good. Hopefully not in a flash flooding way, but good. So we can go in and continue to go in and knock down this drought more. And then if we go in and take a look at the European model, kind of has us at around the same, if not maybe a little bit less, but seems like around the same or so. Around 2 inches all the way up to around 3.5 inches or so throughout the state. So let's go on now and take a look at our temperatures. So we're going to start off here. We're going to start off here with the actual anomalies first. Then we'll go on and take a look at the ensembles. We'll look at the exact temperatures. Then we'll go on and talk with the audience for tonight. But starting off with the temperature anomalies, we start off into tonight. And obviously we are seeing those below average temperatures as we move throughout tonight going into tomorrow morning. But watch as we get into the afternoon tomorrow, those temperatures start to get a bit warmer than average, and we're kind of seeing that pattern, that same pattern that we've been talking about for the past couple of days, of where we're seeing cooler than average temperatures during the nighttime and warmer than average temperatures during the daytime. So that's why you're seeing 90s during the day, but then like 60s at night. That full-on 30-plus degree change from daytime to nighttime, that's why you're seeing it. And so as we move more and more into Sunday, going more and more into Monday, you're just seeing that cooler air and that warmer air kind of just continuing to exchange back and forth with one another, seeing more warmer air, seeing more cooler air as we go into like maybe that Tuesday or Wednesday or so with a little setup, maybe trying to form, maybe a little cold air damming setup as we move more and more into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We'll see how that forms out because we've been seeing that for a good little minute now. But then as we continue on through into Thursday, going into Friday, obviously you can kind of see it. It's kind of hard to tell. But you remember the storm system that we were just looking at, the tropical storm slash whatever storm it may or may not be, whatever. That storm system is right here, and that's obviously going to bring us below average temperatures because obviously a bunch of cloud cover, you're seeing a bunch of rainfall, and this is the whole storm system that we have right here. So, bringing obviously those outer band, inner bands with it, and that's what's going to cause potentially, this storm right here may not only just cause a bunch of rainfall for us, it may not cause just gusty winds if we do have it. I mean, we may have below average temperatures with it as well. Now, it seems like those below average temperatures are going to kind of try and stay, but warmer than average seems to try and want to take over as we get into the week after next week, going into around, mid-June, going later then, later down the road or so. But overall, I mean, just the temperatures as we move throughout the next 300 to 400 hours or so is just continuing just to get more and more chaotic, continuing just to get more and more just out of the ordinary. I mean, we're going into June. We are in June. We're in June, and we had spots to where it was 50 degrees just a couple of days ago. So, I mean, everything about this is just kind of just weird at this point, and especially once you get further and further out into the future, and you're seeing potential storms trying to make landfall or something like that, according to one model. I mean, it's overall just a bunch of things are going to be out of whack here. Just a bunch of things are, and that's just how the models go. That's just how they go. And if we go on and take a look real quick at the official temperatures from the GFS, right now, they're saying as we move more and more into the weekend, I mean, still, obviously, we're still going to see high 80s, 90s. That's not going to change as we go into Monday. Good amount of 80s and 90s still there. Tuesday, may not see as many 80s and 90s, but we're definitely going to see some warmer temperatures nonetheless. Lower temperatures still going to be in the 60s or so. And just as we move throughout next week in general, we're still seeing a good amount of 80s and 90s, and maybe even some higher 90s as we move later into next week. Now we move into next weekend, not this weekend right here, but next weekend, we still are seeing some more just warmer 80, 90 degree temperatures or so. And if we go in and take a look at the official GFS and what's going on in terms of the models here, right now the GFS is saying we're still going to see 90s even as we move more and more into June. So it seems like it wants to try and keep us at that above average pace in terms of temperatures as we move more and more into June. So, I mean, and honestly, it does look like, let me see if I can go in and pull this up real quick on the fly real quick. Let me see, do they still have the forecast? They do. And the forecast for June, remember, the forecast for June, it was expected to be equal in terms of temperatures, so obviously they thought that it was going to be just a more 50-50 back and forth temperature range, so it's, kind of like a near normal June. And then as we go more and more into precipitation, they thought it was going to be above average as well. And just with the back and forth, I mean, I can kind of see now why they kind of had that equal chance and kind of just in between, and that's just because warmer and cooler temperatures are kind of just alternating with one another. And that's pretty much all I'd have to say here in terms of our temperatures and just in terms for our future in general. So that was a lot of stuff to go over, obviously. But, I mean, when you really do think about it, though, it's really not too much except for, we end the week off getting in on some dry conditions. We start off Sunday, maybe with a lower rain chance, but still we're still mostly dry. And then moisture increase as we get into next week. And then, obviously, we're still going to see temperatures continuing to be up into like the 80s and 90s or so. Maybe a little bit of a cool down as we get into around Tuesday or so. And then watching the tropics. That's the main thing right there. So that's pretty much all they have to say here in terms of the models, just in terms of the main forecast for tonight. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. But before we go in and talk with the audience real quick, it is obviously Friday, so we have officially made it to the end of the work week. We've officially made it to the end. Give ourselves a round of applause for that. And yeah, so we made it all the way to the end. The weekend is right here. And honestly, it's going to be nice. So definitely do enjoy that time outside while you have it. So starting off with the chat, my outlook says, "Good evening, everyone. I pray that everyone had a wonderful day. Today in Georgetown, we had a beautiful, warm, sunny day. Today's highs was around 87, currently at 73. She also says, "No clouds or rain in sight. It's nice to know that rain showers are on the way." Yep, definitely are on the way as we move into next week. And thank you so much for that weather report. Right now at my house, it's 76 as we currently stand. And the high temperature for today was 89. 89. Mikey Goof says, "Howdy. Howdy to you." Thad says, "Good evening, Joseph and the 360 Weather family. I trust all is well with everyone. All is well with me. It was a very nice day today in Central Texas. We had light rain come through today. Height was around 81. Well, thank you so much for that weather report for where you are. Glad to hear that y'all are getting some more rainfall, even though, if we want to take a look at the drought over there in San Antonio right now. So it takes like a little second. There we go. Because it did update, obviously, yesterday. Let's see. Y'all are y'all are inside the D1 now, so no longer in the D2. Y'all are inside the D1 now, so y'all did drop in terms of the drought. So you need a little bit more rainfall to really get that drought and that abnormally dry out. But y'all are doing a lot better right now. Definitely a lot better. Then Mr. Daniel says it is very comfortable this evening. Not much at all. Not much at all. Any thunderstorms or lightning this year here in the Low Country? Well, we're continuing to see these dry conditions go on. So overall, statewide, it's not really looking too active for anybody. Not really looking too active for anybody. Then my Nana says, "Hello, Jane. All hello to you. A nice day, and I got a little sun." And then Trail says, "It's too hot. Greetings, everyone." And that's all that I can see here. So greetings to you as well. And we'll come back to the chat. We have top fan of the night for tonight. Top fans of the night for tonight. And let me make sure this is set up. It is. There was an earthquake a couple of days ago. Not today. An earthquake a couple of days ago. And whoever can guess, we're going to change it up a little bit and say, let's see. Whoever can guess the nearest major city of the earthquake, the nearest major city in South Carolina. What do I mean by major city? Greenville, Spartanburg. We'll include Rock Hill. We'll include Columbia, Florence, Charleston, Hilton Head Island, Beaufort, Myrtle Beach, Georgetown, those areas. Whoever can guess which part the earthquake was the closest to, or is the closest to, will get the top fan of the night for the night tonight. If you already saw it, don't go on and spoil it or anything like that, because this was a couple of days ago. It was 2 days ago on June the 3rd. Happened around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. Very weak, though. Very weak. So that is the top fan question of the night for tonight. Where was that earthquake at? And what major city was it near? We're going to go on and start off with our 4 areas outside of South Carolina. We'll come back for the answer in just a moment. But the 4 areas outside of South Carolina, you might be asking 4 areas. What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go in and give them their forecast for them. So starting off with San Antonio first, we have low temperatures tonight at 72, high temperature for tomorrow at 88, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 75. There is a chance of thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow night. So you have a chance of thunderstorms that continues for you throughout tonight and tomorrow. And if we go in and take a look at your risk of severe weather, that's not expected, but excessive rainfall tonight. You actually have an isolated flash flood risk, and that explains why. You have a flood watch right now that continues for the next 5 hours. So make sure that you are aware. There is the potential, obviously, for life-threatening flooding somewhere in this watch area, whether it be from San Antonio all the way up into um, Austin or over in the Georgetown, Texas, not Georgetown, South Carolina. And just somewhere in that area, there could be some life-threatening flooding. Where will it be at? We don't know, but we're just going to have to continue to wait and watch it. But again, that's for tonight. Scattered flash flooding is possible for you as you move into tonight. Tomorrow, isolated flash flooding, and then after that, you're done. Now for your future, it looks like that you will continue to kind of just stay up into the 90s or so. Obviously I know it says 88 for tomorrow, but 90 on Sunday, 90 on Monday, 91 on Tuesday. So your temperatures are going to continue to go up more and more and more. And then for your rainfall will kind of stop. Once you get into around this weekend going into Monday, that 20% chance of showers that you have on Monday, that's like your last opportunity for that rainfall. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week looks pretty dry, honestly. Then for Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 67, high temperature for tomorrow at 96, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 69. No precipitation is expected at this time. No severe weather, excessive rainfall. You have a 20% chance of thunderstorm activity on Monday. But other than that, as you continue on more and more into like the week next week, Tuesday comes along, you're staying dry. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday comes along though, and you look pretty active in terms of rainfall. But one other thing that I will admit is it's going to be hot. Temperature wise, 96 on Saturday, 97 on Sunday, 90 on Tuesday, okay, 92 on Wednesday, 98 on next week Friday. Next week Friday, it's around 98 full on. So make sure that you are aware there. Especially once you get into next week, for all of this heat, especially stressful heat, because 98 degrees, nothing to play around with. Before we go on and talk about Philadelphia, let's see what's going on in terms of the answer. Spartanburg, that is not correct. Let's see, we have Beaufort, that's not correct. Charleston, and then we have, Charleston is not correct. And then Lake Murray or / Columbia. Okay. Well, I will say it is not inside the Low Country. It's not in the Grand Strand. It's not in the PD. So that completely eliminates the eastern half. And I'm kind of contemplating right now I'm kind of contemplating that Columbia answer, because it's in the dead middle almost, if not very close, to the dead middle between Columbia and another city, kind of like in the dead middle. But I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to do some measurements there just to see what's going on, because that is it's like very, very close. It's like very, very close. But continue to answer. We'll see if somebody says the other town that's on the other side. So continue to answer. Please continue. And if nobody does, well, we'll just go on and give that one to you, most likely. But starting off with Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 68, high temperature for tomorrow at 93, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 70. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow, but tomorrow night there is also a chance of thunderstorms. There is a chance of thunderstorms as you go into tomorrow night. And so, just as we go on and move more and more into your future, it looks like it's going to continue to stay dry for you. Even as you move into Monday, as you move into Tuesday, Wednesday comes along, but then watch as you move into Thursday, watch as you move into Friday. That rainfall chance goes up. Also, in terms of temperatures will go down. 93 on Saturday, but then you're going to see 83 on Monday. So it's going to continue to go down for you, but don't worry, 90s will be back for you eventually. But I will say one thing, severe weather is definitely on the table for you as you go into tomorrow. Tomorrow, you have a slight risk of severe weather. You have a 15% risk of damaging winds and actually that's about it. So just that 15% risk of damaging winds, that's the thing that you're looking at for right now. And then if we go on and take a look at your excessive rainfall, nothing for you. Then finally, as we go into Duncan, Oklahoma, the last location, low temperature tonight, 69. High temperatures for tomorrow at around 82, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 67. Showers are likely tonight. Tomorrow, thunderstorms are expected. Not only tomorrow during the day, but tomorrow night as well. If we go on and take a look at your temperatures, though, as you move into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, continuing to stay dry, and it's going to continue to be active for the rest of the weekend, it seems. In terms of severe weather, you do have a risk of severe weather for tomorrow. Marginal risk of severe weather, isolated damaging wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour, and isolated damaging hail of up to an inch in diameter is possible. And then for your excessive rainfall outlook, because you do have a risk of excessive rainfall for tonight, scattered flash flooding tonight, tomorrow, and then isolated flash flooding on Sunday. And then I think that is about all that I have to say there. So let's go on and check out what's going on throughout the entire U.S., and we'll go back to the top fan question. Severe thunderstorm, which can bring hail, large hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes, will be possible over parts of the central U.S. through this weekend. Thunderstorms with heavy to excessive rainfall moving from Texas into the mid-Mississippi Valley through this weekend may produce areas of flooding. So all of that's going on, continuing to see some fire conditions. Throughout Nevada, throughout southern and central Utah, western Colorado, parts of Arizona. A bunch of red flag warnings going on over there in the west as they are continuing to see a bunch of fire weather concerns. And then, let me go over here real quick. So, you see the earthquake right here. It was around 19 kilometers northwest of Winnsboro. And so, the other area was Rock Hill. That was the other area that I was kind of considering. But I'm just taking a look. At this right now. And I do have a little measuring tool that I can use real quick to check and see what was going on here. Because if I measure this, it was around just to the north of Blair, South Carolina. So we're going to check this out around right here or so. So if I measure it from here to Rock Hill, that is around 33 miles. And if I go down towards Columbia, it's around 37. It's around 37. Ooh, so that's a bit of a stretch right there. Because again, I'm just looking up. It's 33 miles from Rock Hill. And if I go down here to Columbia, it's around 37 miles away. So Rock Hill is the closest one. But Dad did say Columbia. And nobody else was really too close. To it. Now I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. So that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Honestly, let me go in and put something inside the chat real quick. I'm going to go in and put a poll real quick. I'm going to put a poll inside the chat real quick, and be honest. Should Thad win top fan of the night for tonight? That's gonna be the poll. Yes or no? That's inside the poll right now. Because again, it was close. It was pretty close. But the poll is inside the chat right now. Go in and vote inside of that, and see if he should win for tonight. And so far it seems like most people are saying yes. So we'll check back with that in about a minute or so. If you have not hit the like button yet or the subscribe button yet, go on and do so right now. If I go in and check right now and see, seems like right now that we have around a good 15 people that have tuned in so far, and we only have 8 likes. 15 people have tuned in so far, and we only have 8 likes. So if you're a part of that group of 7 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free. Also hit the subscribe button. We're at 744. Trying to get to that main goal of 800. And then share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, and people that you don't talk to regularly, because it's free, and you can share as many times as you want. So far, everybody says yes, Thad should win the top fan of the night for tonight. So I'm going to go in and end that right there and say, Thad, congratulations to you. By popular vote of the chat, you are top fan of the night for tonight. Congratulations to you there. Honorable mentions for tonight. It does seem like that Mr. Danny was there, my Aunt Lula was there. So the two of y'all will be honorable mentions for tonight. And again, the magnitude for that one earthquake over there near Winnsboro was around a 1.9. So again, it wasn't anything too strong at all. But that's all. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning for your Saturday morning forecast update. Reminder, I will not be here tomorrow evening. I will not be here tomorrow evening. So Saturday evening, you can go on and spend time with your family. Go on and watch your favorite TV show at 9 o'clock. It doesn't matter. Because I will not be here for tomorrow night. So make sure you keep that in mind. But I will be here tomorrow morning. And I should be here Sunday morning if things all go to plan. But that's all. Tune in tomorrow morning and hit those 2 buttons before you leave if you're new. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Friday.